it is vital that people feel like they're thriving in any way they can. And right now, that is really being challenged. You might feel worried about your financial future or your reproductive rights or any number of things because of the current administration. One thing that I like to do to help support activists is to help them have a sense that they are thriving in the areas of their life that they can. So maybe that means having a really healthy sex life, or recovering from trauma while at the same time you're actually like fighting to make the world a safer place and reduce gender related violence. And when I say that, I mean that one gender is allowed to perpetuate violence, and that is affecting everyone else. I'm Lily from Brown Bear Herbs, and here are some of my favorite products to help you claim healthy sexuality as part of your life. And if you already have that, wonderful, let's take it to the next level. Earth medicine in various forms like teas, tinctures, herbal smoking blends, gem and flower essences, they can all support you so that you work through any obstacles to having a really embodied and enjoyable sex life. The reality that we can have a really pleasant time on earth without hurting other people. There are plenty of herbs known for their aphrodisiac properties, like Damiana, which is in our Sexy Smokes herbal smoking blend, and Shatavari maca, and those are both in ASMR, a tincture that is an aphrodisiac tincture. And then there's a bunch of flower essences that help deal with some of the things that get in the way of sex. If you've had a history of trauma or like some serious imprinting that wasn't helpful from your family of origin, or had some bad relationships along the way or encounters. They could even be medical or spiritual crap loads that were put on you that could be affecting your ability to have like a fun sex life. So let's clear that space out and help you feel like you can kind of cultivate that little lush garden in your life, and then go out and fight battles, or covertly fight battles, so that we can trash the oligarchy and move towards a better, more equitable reality. Sexy Smokes is made with Damiana, which was historically smoked for preparing for the maiden voyage. And what I mean by that is like your wedding night when you hadn't had sex before that first time with your marital partner. This is a plant from Mexico. As a tea or as an edible, it does not really have the aphrodisiac properties. It's more of like a flavoring and like mildly relaxing. However, when it is smoked, as it was traditionally done, it does have this reputation for having aphrodisiac properties. For some people, that is very mild. Like it might feel like a mild marijuana-like buzz. It might feel like mildly relaxing. For other people, it's instant swing, and they notice right away. Even if they didn't know that's what they were consuming, they're like, okay, what just happened? I've observed that effects of this herb also vary depending on where you're at with your hormonal cycle, if you're dealing with female hormones. That means that if you're at a time in your cycle when you're normally not sexually aroused and you smoke Sexy Smokes, then you might find yourself just like more open to intimacy in general. And if you are at a point in your cycle where you're already normally excited about having sex, then it has a reputation for making people feel really confident, not overly confident, but just like really confident, happy in their bodies, like enjoying life. Like nature is like always making things happen that are so like vital and lush, like flowers and just like the juiciness of nature. So this is an offering to help you connect with that part of yourself. It's such an interesting plant because it grows in the desert and in really austere conditions, and yet it has such like sensual effects. So I love it. And then the other herbs in the blend are rose, that helps you stay connected to your heart while you're exploring sensuality, which is wonderful because as many of you know, sensual experiences are very intimate, and if they don't go well, then it can really create like a strong imprint that is not positive, and then that can taint like the pleasure that you experience. So you want to have both. You want to have a really beautiful emotional connection and a joyful sensual connection. They go together. So I find the smoking blend works best if the various people involved are smoking it. You might feel like, oh, I'm the one who needs help here. My partner is fine. They don't need anything. Well, I've noticed quite a few people, and it has this reputation and like through history that it can help change the attitude from results-oriented sex to relational sex and like sensual connection. Relational. It's valuable for both people, and no harm either way. For the time being, we don't have filtered cigarettes, but I recently uploaded some new products, which are custom pipes made for us, that have an option for a filter. And I smoked out of it using cotton as my filter, which you can also put in a like manufactured filter. With the cotton, it was an even better experience than the filtered cigarettes. I loved it. It was like so super, super smooth, and I still enjoyed the benefits of sexy smokes. And then the other couple herbs in there are hibiscus and blackberry. Those both help releasing trauma and just like revitalizing that area of your life. That's wonderful. And if you're looking for more support with releasing trauma, then we have a flower and gem essence called Trauma Recovery Support, which is really wonderful and can help relieve some of like the PTSD symptoms, help make it easier to talk about where you're at and what your needs are, which is a really important part of recovery. These things don't just disappear. It's about relating to your partner and having a partner who you feel like safe to tell them, you know, oh, I need to take a pause, or, you know, as long as we stay away from this, I'm going to be feeling great. Whatever it is, this essence I've observed and heard back from customers and test people that it just really opens up some doors to being able to communicate. And other people have talked about releasing night terrors, stuff like that. Really helpful. And then ASMR is a tincture. This one I made for people whose barrier to sexual joy and abundance is really just like long-term stress. So if you're a parent, for example, or somebody who just had to work a lot, or you've been in like difficult circumstances for other reasons, like, you know, just like long-term discrimination or something like that that's been wearing on you, the herbs in this, which are shatavari, ashwagandha, maca, and then rose for some heart action. So the first three herbs, they really help like give you like super strength back, just really at a core level restoring strength. With that strength comes like horniness and just like desire and ability to share your energy with another person that may result in pregnancy, which requires a lot of energy. And I'm not saying that because I am a pregnancy advocate. I am a choice advocate. I am a person who really thinks that planned families are going to do better than unplanned families. So I hope that in the future, everyone gets to plan for their families. And if not, we can all be supportive of what needs to happen so that the child can have the best life possible. Children can be a part of sex. So it happens. I had a friend who, she got pregnant, I think twice, with birth control and condoms. So I think people should be able to have sex without moral condemnation. So it just happens. So we want to be a supportive community for all possible outcomes. Anyway, I love ASMR. There's some herbs and medications that kind of just like force the sexual experience, which is similar to porn or something like that, where you're just like, let's get there. It's like results. We want to see an erection. We want to see moisture. What we want to make it happen. You're coming on time. And that is not a sustainable model. It's like not a heart sensitive model. I mean, like with men, we don't want them to feel like that's their worth. And same with women, and same along the spectrum. We don't want anyone to feel like their worth is whether or not they can sexually perform. But of course, you want to have fun, so you need to be able to sexually perform. Restoring your core strength is, going to be a big part of that. If you're exhausted, if you're depleted, your body's like, hey, I need sleep, I need rest, I need minerals. I do not need to share my energy with somebody else through sex or through having a baby. And so as that's for female bodied people, you can't, those things are really connected. If you're depleted, your energy, your body's not going to be screaming out to have sex, because there's that potential that you will be trying to like create another human being, which is a lot of work. And then the Damiana, also, to go back to Sexy Smokes, that one has a reputation for helping with like sexual dysfunction, like erectile dysfunction and porn addiction and all sorts of different things like that. So where there's an imbalance in your sexual life, Damiana is like a very low risk way to explore that. Certainly if you're adverse to smoking, it's not a good option. But if you smoke here and there or all the time, then go for it. It's worth trying. Back to ASMR. So Shatavari, the name translates roughly to she who has 100 husbands. I really feel like this gives you more stamina. And that herb. And then ashwagandha is known, if you're dry and you're depleted, like being restorative, and also good for like frazzled energy. And then maca is just like, it has quite the reputation. It's like a powerhouse for like restoring inner strength and sexual like fortitude. And they give it to bovine populations in the Andes, I believe. And they just watch those bovines go to town. And I used it, I had my partner use it in my, when I was trying to get pregnant, and because it took a while for us. And they said that it almost made them crazy because it made them want to have like, it gave them strong reproductive urges. And if you're curious about contraception and needing to get your period, I have a few books at the shop right now that are independently published that have some historical herb strategies for that. Okay, last but not least, some flower and gem essences that I feel like are really helpful for unlocking sexual energy and helping you have more fun. First of all, wild rose, which is great if you're feeling like life is boring. So your problem is that you are in Dullsville. Maybe you're married or long-term relationship, or you haven't been seeing anyone and you just feel like life is predictable. You got your job, you do it the same way every day, and you see the same people and everything's very rote. Okay, wild rose comes in, you're starting to have like more magical experiences, feel like life can change and be joyful. That's helpful. I'd add that into your routine if you're experiencing any of that like monotony kind of vibes. And then foxglove. I've heard some pretty wild stories about foxglove helping people access their sexuality. It is a toxic plant if you take the material plant, but this is like a diluted flower essence. So it is just the energy of the flower. So it's not the material, which means it is non-toxic. And it's noteworthy because it's said to be helpful if you have kind of like a locked in feeling, like shock, I would say, related to trauma, where you're just kind of frozen. And then it helps to just like open those gates up again. I heard one person, she was just like hanging out in a field with some foxgloves, and she she had a history of trauma, and she just like laid down and masturbated and had a great time. So I love the power of plants that can stop you in the middle of your day for some joy. Another plant like that is Lady Sum. Lady Sum wants me to say, which we always have in stock. We do. And currently it is available as a flower essence. It's a hard one to find in commerce, but we have it because I love it. Similar story, like it grows on like the cracks along the sides of roads a lot, and not so like it's not as powerful in gardens. I love this flower essence. I love this flower. I love this plant. It's so straggly and nasty looking. And I found it because I was looking for help getting pregnant again. You're knowing a little bit more about my old sex life. I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore because I just have a kid. Yeah, so Lady's Thumb, Matthew Wood recommended it as a last-ditch fertility method for older moms. And I was not that old but at the time, but it is known for lubricating your reproductive organs, including your fallopian tubes. So like if you are drier because of age, it really helps like lube stuff up. And it's not just that. It's not just like this physical experience. None of these herbs are just a physical experience. I love the emotional and spiritual side of these things. And I would find that like I would just like cop a squat near Lady's Thumb, and it would just make me so horny. But not just horny, like delighted about life. And I just feel like that's a flower thing. Like flowers are like delighted about life. So if you haven't tried flower essences, I would just like read through the descriptions on our website and brownbearherbs.com and see if anything calls out to you, or if a couple. They're super easy to take. I just put like, maybe like 5 drops in my water bottle and sip it throughout the day and just see what you notice and mix it up. I went through times when I would just do like 6 of them or 8 of them every day, different ones. I had a lot to choose from. Stock up, it's really fun. But that makes it so much easier to choose your emotional goals. I also like ruby gem essence. Here's what I think about ruby. If your problem is more that you've been timid and not able to connect with people, ruby gives grounding and a sense of courage and like really heart-centeredness. So if you're trying to like get up the courage to make those first moves, or just admit you like someone or risk them not liking you back, then I would try ruby gem essence, which we also have at our shop. So those are just a few of the things that could help. In general, if your health is not doing great, then it's going to be hard to bring that energy to your sexual pleasure centers. And that can be on quite a literal level. One of the first signs of cardiovascular disease in men is erectile dysfunction. And so that means a problem that a lot of people feel uncomfortable talking to their doctors about or admitting to anyone is a sign of something that could kill you, or more likely in our day and age, could result in you having open heart surgery, which is a huge deal and can cause long-term or permanent cognitive damage because you have to bypass your actual heart while it's being operated on. So I've seen this happen, and it's not ideal, and it's a really common problem in men. So if you're having problems with your penis, please go see your doctor and see what you can do about it with a healthier lifestyle and maybe herbs. Hawthorn is a great herb. When taken over long term, it can help reduce cholesterol and do all sorts of great things for your cardiovascular system and clear those pathways out so you can have great blood flow. Sex is a great part of a healthy lifestyle. So I hope that you dig into that, clear out any physical or psychological or trauma crap that's holding you back, and claim more joy in your life. Claim it, and then have more energy to fight so that we can all enjoy a better life. We've got to fight for it. So I'm just wishing you joy along the battle. You can find our products at brownbearherbs.com. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Or if you're on our website, please comment on the blog post what you'd like to hear more about, any of your experiences, and like the post. I hope you have a wonderful day. And come a lot.